Here's what happens when you start cultivating healthy relationships and having this living map with which to know where people are in relation to initiations towards the temple of your heart. I had a client, Rosa, and Rosa was in a very challenging relationship. She wasn't feeling like she was seen or heard or that she could voice herself. This was a friendship, actually. And she felt like the friend was very commanding of her time and energy, with a lot of drama, a lot of chaos, and anger. So when Rosa started looking at this map and seeing where this friend actually belonged in the map, she started realizing that she needed to actually start saying no to certain things with this friend, and to start to create a little more spaciousness around time spent with this friend, and making sure that there was other people around, making the space that she could actually start cultivating relationships with other people without her friend dominating her time and energy. And as she was using the maps to create safer relationships and to feel into her nervous system and to understand her values and the other people's values, over time, she managed to cultivate a beautiful circle of friends who were very aligned with what she was cultivating in her own life for herself. And she was able to create more healthy, loving relationships with friends and build a larger community around her that felt more vibrant and fluid and interesting. And then through that time, she also met her beautiful partner who came through that friend group and was able to be in this process with him over a period of time, so that by the time that they were in a more deeply intimate relationship, they really knew and understood each other. They were super aligned. They had a great communication style. They knew how to support one another through challenging moments and when to give each other space. And her life really started to feel more, she expressed it as feeling more vibrant and colorful and exciting, but also more peaceful. So this is one of the many things that can happen when you start working with this beautiful living map. So as you can see, this beautiful living map of the levels of initiation to the temple of the heart is fluid and dynamic and repeatable. You can use it with friendships, loverships, any kind of relating. You can apply it to friendships, to romantic partnerships. You can apply it to family. You can apply it to the broader community. You can apply it to experiences. And it really gives you a map with which to modulate your nervous system and create healthy, vibrant relationships. So this level of initiations of the Temple of the Heart is actually a very small piece of one of the modules, the fire module of the Living Spiral of Inner Alchemy. And the Living Spiral of Inner Alchemy is a year-long mentorship where we use the Taoist map of the 5 phases that are aligned with the seasons to navigate the pillars of the body, somatic experience, integration, the mind, reprogramming, repatterning, the spirit, connecting back with the web of life through nature and the wisdom that nature holds for us, through archetypes, through emotional alchemy, and each season provides a different aspect with which to dive in and really start to understand ourselves and allow us to be in our inner sovereignty, as well as to locate ourselves in space and time. We follow the rhythms and cycles of nature, like the solstices and the equinoxes, and understanding the benefits of connecting with the sun and the moon and the stars and the seasons. And for example, the winter water element is associated with the yin time, the most feminine time of the year. It's also the time of the year that we go deeply inward. And a lot of people can be afraid of this time. The emotion also of this phase is, when it's out of balance, fear of the unknown, fear of the darkness. So it's like we're diving into the deep, deep waters. But it's also the time of the year that is the most perfect to see our shadows, to take the time to be with our shadows and integrate them into our being, so that when we move into spring, those aspects of self have been integrated and have caught up to where we are now in our lives. Winter is also the time to receive in from the unknown. It's very liminal information coming in that seems very non-linear, and we don't quite know how that's going to play out in our lives or what it looks like. And we can apply these things to our emotions, our relationships, our projects. They all have phases that they go through. And if we can locate ourselves where we are in any experience, then we know how to prepare for the next part or how to move through that phase. In the springtime, it's wood phase. And the emotion with this can be anger, but anger has the same kind of energy as a sprout pushing up through the soil, coming to its destiny. So here we explore vision and boundaries and compassionate inner leadership and bringing our dreams to life, bringing them into reality. And then we move into the summer, the fire phase, where we explore matters of the heart and our authentic expression, our outward offerings to the world, what has been moving through us and is now ready to give into the world. And then we have the earth phase, which is where the abundance lies. But when this is out of balance, it might be we are overgiving, we're giving from an empty cup. And so in the earth phase, we learn how to create a practice of deep self-care and self-nourishment so that we can give from a place of abundance, so that we can show up flourishing and caring for others in a healthy way that also allows for them to go through their life experience without us sitting in places of anxiety and worry and projecting that energy onto them. And from earth, then we move into metal, which is autumn. And that is all about letting go. And there's a time of grief when we're letting go of things. There's grief. And there's the learning how to be with what is, to being present, to being in that doorway between life and death, and being able to know what's no longer serving us and what are we letting go of, so that we can continue moving on without the weight of things that are no longer meant to be on the journey with our soul's curriculum into our next cycle. Then we move into water again, and it's actually going in a spiral, because each time we go through these phases, we've released a little more, transformed a little more, alchemized a little more, so we're reaching it at a different level, and we're able to see each time how our consciousness is growing and evolving and moving through our adulthood in a way that is more and more grounded yet elevated, and more in our inner authority, in our self-worth, and seeing clearly how we are moving through our experiences in life, because we are clearly locating ourselves in space and time with all of the wonders that life has to offer us. So if this seems interesting to you, if you are curious about having your life looking completely different one year from now, one year from now feeling more self-empowered, more integrated in with the natural rhythms and cycles, inviting more ritual and ceremony and relational experiences into your life, guiding you towards what feels like thriving and flourishing for your own inner heart and center, then I invite you to have a look at the Living Spiral of Inner Alchemy mentorship to see if it's an aligned fit for you. You can connect on a call and we can have a talk if this is something that you're ready for. And in the meantime, you can go to the page and see what all it entails. Like I said, we address body, mind, and spirit. So there's physical movement, cultivation of chi, cultivation of mind, cultivation of connection. And I look forward to meeting with you if you feel called to join this circle and this gathering of seekers who are looking for a framework through which to cultivate and grow in their own inner authority.